Now, I know what you're thinking. An all-male group. How could they possibly have done it? I'll probably be making bottom jokes the whole time. Anyway, Mr. Gunn. Chapter 1. The Garden of Mr. Gunn. Mr. Gunn was a fierce old man with a red beard and two bloodshot eyes that stared out at you like an octopus curled up in a bad cave. He was a complete horror who hated
animals, children, fun,
and
corn on the cob.
He slept and scowled and picked his nose and ate it. Mr. Gunn lived in a great big house in the middle of town. Actually, it wasn't that great because he turned it into a disgusting pigsty. The rooms were filled with junk and pizza boxes. Empty milk bottles lay around like wounded soldiers in a war against milk. And there were newspapers from years and years ago with headlines like
Vikings invade Britain!
And
World's first newspaper invented today.
insects lived in the kitchen cupboards. Not just small insects, but great big ones with faces and names and jobs.
Oi, and pass the sugar.
Oh, here you go, Jack.
Oh, poor blimey!
Anyway, I could be here all day going on about Mr. Gunn's house, but I think you've got the idea. Mr. Gunn was an absolute laser who couldn't be bothered with niceness and tidying and brushing his teeth, or anyone else's teeth for that matter.
But!
And as you can see, it's a big but. He was always extremely careful to keep his garden tidy. In fact, Mr. Gunn kept his garden so tidy, it was the prettiest,
Floweriest, greenest
gardeniest garden in the whole of Lamonic River. Here's how amazing it was. Think of a number between 1 and 10. Multiply that number by 5. Add on 350. Take away 11. Throw all those numbers away. And now think of an amazing garden. And that's how amazing Mr. Gunn's garden was. Many wondered why. The real reason was this. Mr. Gunn had to keep the garden tidy because otherwise an angry fairy would appear in his bathtub and start whacking him with a frying pan. You see, there is always a simple explanation for things. And so, life went on in the peaceful town of Lamonic River. Everyone got on with their business and Mr. Gunn snoozed the days away and did lots of gardening he didn't want to do. And nothing much ever happened and the sun went down over the mountains. The end.
No, chapter 2.
Oh, something did happen. Of course. Chapter 2, everyone. We'll go from chapter 2.
Chapter 2! A massive whopper of a dog. One day, a massive whopper of a dog came to live in the outskirts of town. Where did he come from? Nobody knows!
Jake the dog.
What strange things had he seen? Nobody knows!
Jake the dog.
What was his name? Everybody knows. His name was... His name was Jake the dog. He was a furry wobbler.
Jake the dog.
He was a furry wobbler and was as friendly as toast. He often came to town and let the children play with him. They gave him rides on his enormously broad back. Yes, I said he gave them rides on his enormously broad back.
It's not yeah. Oh, isn't he nice?
No matter how many children wanted to laugh, he never grew tired. He was just that sort of dog. He looked so happy that nobody very much minded his messy little visits. In fact, a rumour began that if Jake the dog visited your garden, it meant you were in for some good luck. And if he left a little gift on the lawn, you were in for some doubly good luck. And maybe even a telegram from the Queen.
Oh, Philip, I found some chocolate truffles. Oh.
All summer long, Jake played and everything was fine. Until that fateful day when he discovered a garden he had never been in before. It was the
Prettiest, floweriest, greeniest,
gardeniest garden in the whole of Lamonic Biver. And on that fateful day, Mr. Gum was snoozing away.
fairies oil, the fairies oil. Oh no! Cleanse the garden, you silly sausage!
Down came the frying pan, but Mr. Gum was too fast and he shot out like a guilty onion.
I haven't done anything wrong. I kept the garden tidy.
Shouted Mr. Gum as he flung open the back door and ran outside. He started to say something else, but as he tried, the words got stuck in his throat. They tasted horrible. The garden was not tidy, the garden was a total wreck.
Who did this to you?
It was
Jake!
Of course. The pan came down on Mr. Gum's head faster than Superman. It whipped him one on the bottom and then one on the belly. He doubled over in pain.
Time is ticking, Mr. Gum.
Mr. Gum spent all afternoon repairing the damage to the garden. The fairy watched over him, scowling, brandishing the frying pan to hurry him on. And with one last whack, the fairy flew back off into the bathtub. 3 weeks later, it was time for action. Nasty action.
It's time for action.
Mr. Gum said to nobody in particular.
Nasty action.
Nobody in particular shrugged his shoulders and went off to eat his dinner.
Chapter 3. Mr. Gum lays his plans like the horror he is. The next morning, Mr. Gum was in the butcher's shop. The butcher was a scrawny old man called Billy William III. No one knew what the third bit meant.
It's because I'm royal, eh?
He would tell anyone foolish enough to listen.
I'm third in line for the throne of England. Behind all them other geezers.
Nobody believed Billy William III's story about being royalty except for Billy William himself. And even he didn't believe it most of the time. But he enjoyed lying. It made him laugh. Anyway, forget it. The important thing that Mr. Gum had gone to BW3 Butcher's shop to buy the biggest load of meat he could get his angry hands on. He had a plan.
I've got a plan. Are you going to be laying down them carrots and poisoning it so when that big whopper of a dog eats it, it'll fall down dead? Well, maybe I am.
Said Mr. Gum, a little annoyed the butcher had guessed his plan so quickly.
Here's 3 pounds of fat carrot. They've been sitting in the sun since last Wednesday.
Oh, why did you leave them sat out in the sun?
I like to watch the flies go mad over it. It's funny. It's the funniest sight in all of England. I have so hard. I nearly had to go to hospital.
Well, thank you, me old governor. Yeah.
Back home, he sat down thinking on an old sailor's chest which stood in the front hall. It was a beautiful old thing made of mahogany. Mr. Gum had never once thought to open that beautiful chest and see what was inside. But I'll tell you something. That old chest had once belonged to a sailor called Nathaniel Cernan, the hero of the high seas. And it might just be legend, but some say the chest was filled with magical chocolate that had fantastical powers. How the chest ended up in Mr. Gum's house,
Nobody knows.
Jake the dog! Sorry. Angry people always miss out on the rewards. They're so busy sniping and griping. They never see the good things around them. As a famous song says.
1, 2, 3. You've got to have eyes. Eyes for the wonderful things in life. If you've only got eyes for the wicked and the bad,
How are you gonna get?
how you gonna get? I said, how you gonna get? Tell me how you gonna get the chocolate you deserve. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yes!
How do I know that these cowards are going to be rotten enough? I know. I best try eating one. See if it kills me. Then I'll know if it's rotten enough to use on that big woofer.
Mr. Gum was just about to take a bite when he realized This might not be such a clever idea after all.
No.
In the end, he decided to soak the hearts in rat poison, just to be sure.
That dog's in for a surprise. He won't like it all.
40 to 1. 1, 2, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Chapter 4. Mr. Gunn has a cup of tea.
Chapter 5. Polly. The next morning, Mr. Gubb inspected the cowherds. They'd been soaking all night in rat poison, and they were good and proper dangerous to dogs now, and gave off a foul smell even worse than before.
That dog will be able to smell this rotten hearts with his animal instincts. I best disguise the smell with something nice. Ugh.
Mr. Gubb looked through his kitchen cupboards, but was there anything nice in there? Of course there wasn't. All he could find was a rotten turnip. So off he headed into town.
Taxi!
Hello, Mr. Gum. Where are we going today?
Just the town.
Oh, down?
Yeah. Oh!
Thank you, Mr. Gum. Come get it.
Who would have thought poisoning a whopper dog would have been so much trouble?
There was a little girl playing in the hedge as Mr. Gunn walked by, and she heard what he said and grew alarmed.
What's Mr. Gunn talking about when talking poisoning whopper dogs? Which whopper dog could he be talking about?
It didn't take long to think which whopper dog he could be talking about, because she knew but one.
Jake!
Now this little girl's name was Jammy Grammy Lammy for Hupper Berlin Stereo EO Leps Yep Lamonica La Straypeck de Crespin de Crespin de Bespin de Vespin de Whoop de Loop de Bruntle Merry Christmas Lendois. But her friends just called her
Polly.
Most people in Lamonic River chose to be Polly's friend for the sake of time and convenience. Luckily though, Polly was a girl worth liking. She was 9 years old. With lovely sandy hair like a cat's daydream and a smile as happy as the Bank of England. So Polly went racing down the hill like a runaway marble, determined to find Jake the dog before he fell victim to Mr. Gunn's evil scheme. She ran past a dustbin filled with rubbish, and then another one filled with rubbish, and then another one filled with rubbish, and then another one filled with princesses.
Hi there.
There was something unusual about that last dustbin, she thought, but she hadn't the time to stop. She ran like the wind, and then got tired and just walked like a breeze. But she soon sped up again because she was determined to save that tremendous dog. It was only after she'd been running for about half an hour that she realized something quite important.
I don't know where Jake the dog lives.
She'd come to the woods on the edge of town, and they were big and scary and full of shadows.
I don't know where I am.
You're in the woods.
Just then, An old man peered out the window of a secret cottage half hidden in the bushes behind her. Polly hadn't noticed the cottage, and I'm sure you wouldn't have either. That's the thing about secret cottages. They're secret.
Well, what do we have here? A little girl in trouble. Chapter 6.
Mr. Gum lays down his hearts. Meanwhile, Mr. Gum was a mumbling and a grumbling his way into town. He made his way over to Mrs. Lovely's wonderful land of sweets, which is a sweet shop at the end of the road. Mr. Gum felt sick. He felt as though he were being attacked by the forces of good. When he was a boy, he had loved eating sweets, but that was before he had turned into a bad man. Yes, now he seemed to hear the voice of the boy he had once been, calling down to him throughout the years.
Turn again, Mr. Gum. You can still be good. Turn again,
said the voice in his head. He looked down to see that the voice was not in his head after all, but belonged to a young boy who was stood next to him.
All this talk of turning again made me feel sick.
At that moment, Mrs. Lovely came tumbling out of the back room.
Hello, you old wench. Give me some lemonade powder.
A pleasure as always, Mr. Gum.
Mr. Gum hardly noticed the walk home, mainly because he took a taxi. Very soon he was back in his smelly kitchen and he rubbed his hands together gleefully and danced a cruel jig like a spiteful pig. He opened the little bag and sprinkled its contents all over the rotten and poisoned cow hearts. He then gave them a quick sniff. He gasped and clutched his throat.
Smells of that friendship, sunshine and lemonade powder.
Holding it at arm's length, Mr. Gum took the plate of doom into the very neat and tidy garden. He placed it right in the centre where Jake the dog was sure to see it. That day was very still, not a single blade of grass was moving. Somewhere in the distance a chicken barked. Mr. Gum settled back into his favourite broken chair and awaited to see what would happen. I said broken chair.
Chapter 7. Friday O'Leary. So now we head back to Polly, who's just where we have left her. You're probably going crazy from all the suspense, haven't you? But it's none other than Friday O'Leary, one of the heroes of this story. Just who was this O'Leary character? Not a lot was known about him because he was a mysterious sort of fellow.
Mysterious?
But I will tell you what I know. Friday O'Leary was as old as the hills.
Old?
As wise as the hills.
Wise?
Not as tall as the hills.
Not quite as tall.
But his bald head was covered in thick, curly hair. And he had the normal number of legs.
2.
Oh, and for reasons known only to himself, he had the world's smallest collection of stats. Not at all. And, again, for reasons known only to himself, he would shout at the end of his sentences.
Is a lemon meringue!
Anyway, earlier that day, Friday had been sitting in his room playing the piano, when there came a sound of crying, sobbing, and general unhappy little girl noises. Friday rushed to the window. Rushed to the window. And uttered those famous suspenseful words I mentioned before.
Well. What do we have here? A little girl in trouble.
Then he opened the front door and stepped outside.
Hello? Are you alright? The truth is a lemon meringue!
Who are you?
Asked Polly. She was a little bit nervous because her mother had told her never to talk to strangers. Her mother was full of this sort of advice.
Wash your hands before meals, brush your teeth twice a day, and don't cut your legs off with a bread knife.
But most of all it was,
And never, ever talk to strangers.
They call me Fruity Patootie. Don't know why, because my name's Friday O'Leary.
and then Polly knew it was all right because her mother had told her about this remarkable man one stormy night. Suddenly the woods looked friendly and welcoming, and Polly saw how beautiful all the nature was. Now she probably wasn't going to be eaten by a flower or anything.
It's lovely to meet you. My name is Jammy Lammy
I think I'll just call you Polly.
Said Friday. Chapter 8. Something's happened. Now I'll tell you what, Friday O'Leary wasn't the only character in this story with a mysterious house. Nobody knew where Jake the dog lived either. Nobody knew where he lived except for me, and I'm not telling you. Okay, I'll tell you. He lived in the woods of a horse chestnut tree, filled with leaves he had kept in there to keep him warm at night. That very day when Polly and Friday had been looking for Jake, he'd had a grand old time. He'd larked around with the larks, gone cuckoo with the larks, and bought some tinfoil off a magpie from horse chestnuts.
You alright? You some tinfoil? Oh, nice good business weekend.
And off he went, into town, strolling along in the sunshine with not a care in the world, barking, burping away, and singing a song which went like this. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3. Bark, 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 bark. Yeah. There was only one garden Jake fancied romping in today, and that was Mr. Gum's. On he went down the high street, and soon he came to the spiky fence that surrounded Mr. Gum's house. He bounded over the fence and landed in a shower of dirt, and barked a welcoming bark to let all his garden friends know he had arrived. His welcoming bark went like this, as opposed to his normal bark which went like this. The animals all recognized Jake's welcoming bark because it was so different from his normal one.
What's going on?
Mr. Gum scowled, but then his eyes lit up horribly.
I bet it's him. I bet it's that fleabag dog.
Very carefully, Mr. Gum tiptoed over to the window and did secret spying with his unfriendly eyes. Outside, Jake was racing around excitedly around the lawn.
Come on, you meddler. Come on and eat them hearts.
Then, it happened. Jake suddenly stopped barking. His nose twitched as he sniffed the scent of lemonade powder. Of course, the townsfolk were always putting out delicious treats for Jake, so he thought his luck was in. He bounded over to the plate of cow hearts in the middle of the lawn. Chew! 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 He chewed it up. Swallow! 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 He swallowed it down. Go for another! Go for another! Go for another! He went for another. But before he could take another bite, he gave a sad woof and fell on his side. His big furry belly moving rapidly in and out. Suddenly the sun was covered up by a dirty grey cloud the size of Sweden. Behind the curtains, Mr. Gum was laughing like a robber.
Chapter 9. Polly and Friday ride into town. Back at the cottage, Polly was telling Friday O'Leary all about the danger Jake was in. Friday listened carefully, saying things like, and...
Yes, I see.
Polly finished her story and looked anxiously at her new friend, who was lost in thought, twirling an imaginary moustache, which he thought made him look like a detective. Polly felt sure he was working on a brilliant plan.
Want to play a game of tennis?
But Friday, what about that big dog Jake?
Surprise exclamation! I'd forgotten all about it. There's no time to lose.
He jumped onto his motorbike, kick-started the engine and zoomed off like the devil himself.
Aren't you forgetting someone?
Oops. Hold on tight. The truth is lemon meringue!
Shouted Friday, and away they went. It was a long ride into town. They passed hills, and lakes, and rivers, and meadows, and Scotland.
Oops. Wrong way.
And off they melted in the opposite direction. They came mumbling and tumbling down the high street when they were spotted by Billy William III. Knowing how Friday was a force for good, Billy William jumped out of his butcher's shop and began pegging filthy old cuts of meat in their direction.
This is just like butcher's dogs.
He picked up a bucket of tripe and sloshed it across the road.
Hold on tight, whoa!
Take that, you force for good. Oh, is this the end?
But at that moment, something amazing happened. A gobstopper the size of a football hit Billy William. And it was hurtled by none other than that wonderful seller of sweets, Mrs. Lovely.
Oh, no!
That one's amazing.
Said Friday, his eyes shining with admiration and tripe.
Come on, Friday. Let's go save that big dog, Jake. Mrs. Lovely can take care of that one.
The two of them rode on in silence, and soon they came to the high white fence that surrounded Mr. Gum's garden.
Chapter 10. Jake's Darkest Hour. The motorbike came to a screech in front of an oak tree. The once splendid beast looked as weak as a baby, and his fur had lost all of its shine. His eyes were rolled back towards the heavens. He was a mere shadow of his former self, and his shadow was a mere shadow of his former self's shadow.
Don't die on us, Jake. You're too good and fat to die.
Jake's only reply was a feeble little woof which sounded like a door closing.
What are we gonna do?
Just you wait and everything will turn out fine,
Said Friday, tapping his nose wisely. Actually, he didn't have a clue what was going to happen, but just then Mr. Gum raced up.
That one from a dog will never bother nobody again.
We can still save him.
I don't think so, you horrible little girl.
Suddenly, it was all very quiet, like the sad bit of a story.
Goodbye, Jake. You was a good old boy, you was.
Just then, someone tapped her on the shoulder.
Oh no, it's a nightmare from the swing shop. How did he get here?
Turn again, Mr. Gum.
Said the boy with his beautiful honest face. Mr. Gum backed away with his hands raised as though to ward off a ghost.
I don't like this one bit. You appearing out of nowhere telling me to turn again. I hate it.
That was enough for Mr. Gum. He gave a terrified yelp, clambered over the fence and scooted off down the road with the boy's words still ringing in his ears. The little boy then turned back to Polly.
Child,
He said, even though he was no older than she.
you must zip into Mr. Gum's house and go to the old sailor's chest which stands in the hall. Inside is magical chocolate with fantastic powers. Do not tarry, but bring me as much as you can.
Polly then ran to Nathaniel's surname's chest. When she got there, she threw the lid open and looked inside, but found nothing at all. The chest was completely empty.
Chapter 11. How it all turned out. All the chocolate had been eaten or turned to dust by sailors. Any other girl would have given up right there and sunk in her knees in despair in Mr. Gum's yuck carpet. But Polly wasn't any other girl. She was
Polly!
So into the dark depths of that chest she climbed. She had a horrible feeling she was tarrying, even though she didn't know what it really meant. Just then, Polly's hand closed on something small, hidden right at the very back. Slowly, her heart pumping like one of those balloon things. She brought it into the light. On her palm lay a single chocolate in the shape of a dolphin, the very last piece of Nathaniel's surname's treasure.
You're our last hope, Chocolate. I just hope you're enough to save Big Jake.
Said Polly, flapping out of the chest as fast as she could.
Come, child, let us see if the legends are true.
Trembling, Polly held Jake's jaws open and tenderly stuffed the chocolate down his gob. For a moment, nothing happened. Then Jake's eyes flickered open, and he uttered a little bark. It felt good, so he did another one. With that second bark, the day was saved and the bad stuff was at an end.
Yeah!
Jake got up and did a victory lap around the garden to show he was back for good. And then he did a victory lick off Polly's face so she was giggling like a werewolf.
You are no ordinary bear. Who are you really?
My name is Spirit of the Rainbow, and it is my job to bring everyone in the world together in peace and...
Your tea's ready!
Oh, sorry, I've got to go, otherwise my mother will kill me.
Said the Spirit of the Rainbow, and he ran off for his tea. And so life went on in the peaceful town of Lamonic Bibber. Friday married Mrs. Lovely, and they invited Polly over for Sunday roasts. And Mr. Gum and Billy weren't seen for quite a while. Jake the dog played happily in the gardens all summer long, and nothing much ever happened, and the sun went down over the mountains. The end!